Hello everyone, Neve here, and today I am going over the magical month of March. I'm filming this on March 31st, and this is actually right after my last reading, my last ritual reading. Yeah, let's just put it that way. All right, so in front of me, of course, I have my main spiritual journal, and I also have my nightly slash, it's my daily tarot journal. It's like, my morning pulls and my nightly pulls. Yeah, so that's what I have in front of me here. Okay, so let's start with this one here. So, um, of course, I've gone over this plenty of times in my previous videos for the previous magical months, but I am dedicating each month to a deity. And so January was Ganesha, February was Bridget, and March was Angus. Yeah, so and here I have some runes. These are printout, well, not printouts. They were items that came in Witch's Moon boxes that I've been getting for years. And I have my subscription paused on that. But like every 3 months, I forget to, pause it again because it renews every 3 months. So basically every 3 months, I've been getting a box. So that was January was Ganesha. Breach was last month. I did do something different from here to the next month. My book, each month I've dedicated a book to be read for that month, which is something huge for me. I am not a very good reader at all, and I've kind of talked about that in previous videos. Reading is something that's actually quite difficult for me. But I have challenged myself to try to read one book a month, which sounds like that would not be a difficult thing at all, but believe me, it's very difficult for me. So, for January, I read a book on Ganesha. On February, I read a book on Bridget. And there isn't a book on Angus. So, and if you are unaware, Angus Magog is an Irish deity, an Irish god. So Angus is the son of Ondagda. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking, by the way. He's a son of Ondagda and also Bowen, which is the Irish goddess for the River Boyne. I think he's often seen as a god, like a god of love. But Irish deities don't exactly have designations like that. There's not really a god of blank or goddess of blank. It's a bit more complicated than that. And I think Angus sort of gets that role in general pop culture or general ideas of the god Angus, because his story does, his mythology does involve love aspects. So he is often seen as a god of love, but he's a lot more than that. And in fact, I'm also going to pull out this to show the monthly page for this. And I do tap into the love aspect because some of my little icons here have a little heart on them. But, that take that with a grain of salt. And anyway, and I will talk about this a little bit later. But so the book, I didn't have an Angus book. So the route that I took was, instead of that, I would do an Ogham study. Now, this does sort of connect to Angus in the sense that his brother is Ogma or Oma, which is, the creator of the Ogham alphabet. There is a little bit of a connection there, but in general, I just wanted to do an Ogham study, and And so I picked a month that I was doing an Irish deity, and and that was Angus. And yeah, so the book I read, I'm going to put it up on the screen because this was actually it was a Kindle book. And this was Ogum by Erin Rowan Laurie. And I'm not sure, but I have the picture up on the screen. So, yeah, and it's a really great book. However, that said, I did read almost every day, and I didn't, unlike the previous months, I didn't mark on here the days that I read, because it was pretty much every day at night. I do have some book icons. I could go ahead and start putting them on here, but like I wrote in this, so there wouldn't even be room in that one. So yeah, I could do that, but I read pretty much every day, and I didn't even get halfway through that book. So yeah, unfortunately I did not meet my goal this month, and I just couldn't finish it because I can only read a couple of pages a day. Like, I'm serious, reading is a bit difficult for me. So yeah, so what I've decided is that I'm going to use a later month, because I think, let's see, I think I'm going to read a Dagda book for this one. So maybe for Anya, I might try to finish that book, because I think what I had planned was to read just a general Irish deity book for this month. This is going to be for June. So yeah, I think I will just go ahead and do the rest of that book for June. So yeah, so there we go. And let's see. Of course, these are my monthly moon spreads. I have 4 of them for each of the moon phases here. And my Venus in transit chart information. All right, so let me go to the beginning of this month. All right, so this was the end of last month. This was my Bridget closing reading, and I actually meant to write Bridget or Breege closing or something like that, but I haven't done that yet. And here's the thing for this month. I don't have all the pictures because I mean, I can flip through and show you. I don't have any of the pictures on here yet. And that is because I went to go print off all my pictures for this month a few days ago. But my printer ran out of just one ink color. And you know how printers are, it just would not, like, it was an insignificant color too, and I was just like, print anyway. I'm willing to risk it, and it wouldn't print my stickers. So I ordered more ink, and I have to wait until that comes in. But it should be here any day. It might even be here now. I haven't checked the mailbox, but when that comes in, I'm actually going to print off my stickers and put them in here. And if I do that, then and am able to do that before this video goes up, then I will try to edit in the finished pictures of each of these pages. All right, so my opening. I used, so this month, I actually used all 3 of the illustrated Crystallary, Herbiary, and Bestiary. So that's what I used this month for Angus. So I thought it was fun. So for the opening, I used the Herbiary. I used the Herbiary for the opening ritual. And I also used the Gardens and Goblins Tarot. Yeah, so I really adored this deck this month. I'm just gonna get it out here. The only thing I don't like is I wish there were some finger cutouts in the box, because there's not, so I have to like shake it open. So, I mean, that's honestly my only real criticism of this deck is the usability of the box. It's a nice box, don't get me wrong. It's actually a great box. It's just that I wish there were finger cutouts. Yeah, anyway. So this was a fun pairing. Let me just go ahead and do this here. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this. So, I think this goes together well. I mean, especially since this is the herbiary, this is a garden themed deck with has a bit of a fun element to it. Yeah. So, yeah, in general, I think I was very happy with this. I was pretty happy with all three of these decks, I think. All right, let's just do one more and we'll move on to the next one here. Yeah, I mean, this looks nice too. So yeah, so that was my opening ritual, my opening reading, and the decks that I used. So for the next reading, this I used. This was the third quarter moon in Sagittarius, and the focus for this was selfhood, introspection, and identity, which is the same for every third quarter moon for me. And I used I keep wanting to call this the Cyberpunk Tarot, but I know it's not. This is the Eldritch Overload, and the bag that I made for it, of course. And this is a fairly recent bag that I made, and I have a video up of recent bags that I made. And in fact, I think I made them this month. I think they were made at the beginning of this month, and so that's part of the magical month of March. I also made this bag here for the Gardens and Goblins, or Goblins and Gardens. Sorry. So yeah, of course I have the Eldritch Overload here, and for all four of the moon readings, I used the illustrated crystallary, and let me pull that out. So I'm trying to use the same deck for each of the moon readings each month, because at the end, when I do my closing reading, I pull out each of the cards that I pulled from the moon readings, and I pull another card from a tarot deck to kind of represent what that deity wanted me to know from that card that was pulled. And by the way, I love the crystallary with this deck specifically because there's so much technology involved with the Eldritch Overload, of course, because of the theme, and also the colors look fantastic together, and technology also uses crystals and things like that. So like, I don't know, it fit. There was something about it that just really fit, and these two decks just seem to really, really go well together. So this is actually a really good pairing, and I'm going to keep that in mind in the future, that the illustrated crystallary goes super well with this Eldritch Overload. So that was, oh, look at these colors. This is so cool. So that was the third quarter moon in Sagittarius. There we go. So I'm going to keep this deck out because I use this deck for each of the the moon readings, so I'm just going to keep that deck out and to the side here. Okay, so the next page. Now, there's nothing on this page except for the decorations that I did, and that is because this was actually from a meditation that I did. It was an OM meditation, in fact, and in this meditation, this was through the Irish Pagan School. I bought one of their OM courses, which was one of my plans for this month, since the focus, my study for this month was OM. So I bought one of the courses. I've already taken all of their free courses for OM, and I bought one of the OM courses from the Irish Pagan School, and I was thinking I might do another one this month, but it turned out I just didn't have time, so I just did the one, and I highly recommend the Irish Pagan School. But the reason this is blank is just because I haven't had time to fill it out. However, at the end of the entire course is a guided meditation. And so I wrote down in the course itself my meditation. So I can always go back to that. It's in, since I bought the course, I can always go back to it and see my notes and stuff. And I'm just going to eventually put my meditation in here. So what I experienced in my meditation. So that's what's here. All right, so the next page, this is my ancestor reading. And again, I used the Goblins and Gardens Tarot. I'm not going to pull it out again. In fact, I'm just going to keep this on top of here because, I don't know, it was kind of a private reading. Because this reading, this ancestor reading specifically was with... like in honor of my father-in-law that passed away a year ago. So yeah, his birthday is in the beginning of March, and then I think I did this the day after his birthday. Yeah, and he passed away at the end of March. So it has been 1 year since he passed away. So my reading here was in honor of him. And so I'll keep this one a bit private. But yeah, I used the Gardens and Goblins, which I feel like he would have loved this deck. So yeah, that was that reading. So this was the new moon? Oh, right, yes, because the previous one was the third quarter, so this was the new moon. I didn't write what phase of the moon it was in on this one. That's okay. So for this one, I, again, used the the illustrated crystallary, of course, because that's what I was trying to use for all of my... all of the moon readings, so that it was all from the same deck and I could just pull from the same deck for my ending reading. And what I also used was, I thought this would be fun, the Art of Adventure Tarot. Now, what I had decided to do for this month with Angus was to... My view of Angus is quite young. In fact, the reason I chose March to honor him is because I usually, in the previous years, had kind of honored him on Ostara, even though Ostara is not an Irish holiday. There's the 4 Irish fire festivals, of course, which are Imbolc, Bealtaine, Lunasa, and Samhain, of course. The solstices and equinoxes were not really part of Irish paganism. However, I still I still celebrate the solstices and equinoxes. That was a hard word to say, solstices. And I do try to associate deities with those holidays. The words are not coming to me today. Yeah, so like the summer solstice, I actually honor Anya on the summer solstice, and that's why I picked her for June. Yeah, and she is generally associated with the summer or summertime. Now, Angus is not necessarily associated with the spring. In fact, I think I was reading some information on him this month, and I think often he's often associated for around the winter solstice time. But anyway, but yeah, so I in the past I had honored him on Ostara, so that's why I chose him for this month. And Ostara to me is very young. It makes me think of children. I mean, because this Ostara is when we paint eggs as a family. And in fact, I might put up when I go over the Ostara part of this, I might put up some images, or I did take some video of me doing my Ostara reading, so maybe I'll put that up later. But anyway, Ostara feels very young to me, and Angus feels very young to me. When the little stickers that I made to go in here, I mean, this is my image of Angus. Is when I close my eyes and picture him in meditations, he often shows up for me as this very on the young side, sometimes a boy, but even maybe even a young man, and just with some really, really light blonde hair, like almost white, light blonde hair. So yeah, so that's my how I view him. And because of that, I have kind of this young feeling of Angus. And so I chose decks this month that kind of gave me that same feeling. And this deck gives me that feeling, that sort of young, vibrant energy. So yeah, so that's why I chose that for this reading. Okay, so the next one here. Okay, so this was the first quarter moon in Cancer, and I used, of course, the same deck here, the Illustrated Crystallary, and I also used the Wonderworld Tarot. So this is, of course, another quite young looking deck here. And it's actually one of my favorite decks. I love this deck. I just, from the moment I got it, it was, it was my Alice in Wonderland themed deck. So, oh, I have a card upside down. All right. Yeah, so this is just my Alice deck, and so I'm a big fan of this. I've talked about it a million times on this channel. So my the focus for the first quarter moon is connections, relationships, and love, which is very nice. And yeah, I had a good reading. Yeah, here's another card that's upside down. I must have shuffled this poorly. All right. So yeah, I was happy with the combination. I wish my pages were more complete, but again, my printer ran out of ink, so I'll get to it. One more, and there we go. Ooh, cool one. All right, so that was that reading. Okay, so my next one was, oh, I almost skipped a page here. This, I believe, was actually the Venus in Transit. So yes, this was the Venus in Pisces. Yes, and I have a video of this one up, so please go check that out if you're interested. I will try to remember to put a card pop-up when I edit this, but yeah, and I used the Shadowscapes Tarot for this one. Again, as you can see, there's no pictures here yet. No printer ink. So the Shadowscapes Tarot, this is a deck that I often neglect. It's a really pretty deck, but I think the details are just a little too small for me. And I like small decks. I prefer small decks because I have small hands. But this deck, I think the details just get a little lost with this deck. It is very pretty and it felt very Pisces to me. So that's why I chose it for my Venus in Transit, Venus in Pisces reading. So yeah, and I think this worked out quite nicely. I didn't use an Oracle deck with this one. It was just the Shadowscapes. So there we go. That was the Venus in Pisces reading. Okay, so then we had the O-Star reading, and gosh, I wish there was my picture right here. I'll have the picture, and I'll have the names of the decks that I used here and here. But this one I actually used the Bestiary. And I also used the Luna's Bear Tarot, and this is actually a Japanese deck, but the titles are in English. They have English titles with Japanese instructions, and also because this is actually a beginner's tarot, there's keywords on the top and the bottom, upright and reverse keywords, and the keywords themselves are in Japanese. So yeah, here we go. Let me separate this out real quick. Yeah, and this is a mini deck, as you can see. Wow, I may have to zoom in for this one. Let me see. All right, so yeah, this was fun. I like this tarot deck. It's teddy bears. It's fine. It's whatever. I got it because it was Japanese. So, and I wanted Japanese decks. It is cute. It's a RWS clone, so I really don't need to know the Japanese to to know what I'm looking at because it's an RWS clone. So there's nothing really crazy or special about that. That said, in my notebook here, I did write in the I wrote in the keywords in here. And I did go through and translate it. So there was some learning Japanese going on for me with this one. So yeah, it was a very cute, it's a very cute deck. and I did like the reading that I got. And I also used this one as one of my nightly readers. In fact, I was repeating a lot of decks with my nightly readers, which I'll talk about when I'm done going through this, my main book here. All right, so that was that one. And before I switch to the next page in my journal here, if I remember to, I will overlay some video of me doing some of the ritual or decorations in my book for my Ostara page and for my Ostara reading. Ostara, like, we don't actually celebrate Easter in our house. We just completely replaced it with Ostara, and all we do for it is is painting eggs. And normally we do an egg hunt, but this year we didn't do an egg hunt, and I have mixed feelings about that. But I think we started a little too late for the painting of the eggs. We just didn't really have time to do the egg hunt part. Normally we paint the eggs, and then the kids have their quiet time, which is between 3 and 5. And that's around the time that, all the eggs are drying and things like that. And then my husband and I will hide them around the house, so making sure we know exactly where they're at so we don't miss any of them. Sorry about the dog again. And then when they get up from quiet time, when they're done with quiet time, then we would go do a little mini egg hunt. And that's what we did every year. We painted eggs this year. We just didn't we didn't do the egg hunt. So it's okay. I feel I have some mixed feelings about that because my oldest is going to be graduating high school this year. So there was a sort of thought in the back of my mind, like, is this going to be her last Ostara with us? And so, I was feeling a certain way about that. But anyway, so that was Ostara. Okay, so the next, actually between Ostara and my next reading here, I actually did a spell, and I really hesitated about whether I wanted to put that in here or not, because I don't want to run out of pages. I have a limited number of pages here, and I'm a little concerned that if I put everything in this journal, I'm gonna run out of space and I won't have enough for each month. And I did plan out, everything that I would be doing each month, but, there's some things I'd be adding in, I can't plan out everything. So I was just a little too worried that I was going to run out of space, run out of pages at the end of the year. So I didn't record the spell. However, it is on YouTube. Again, if I remember, I'll put a card pop-up to that. So it was a communication spell to get an interested party in communicating with you for something. So anyway, so that's what that was. And then finally, not finally, because there's actually one more after this, but so for the full moon, this was the full moon in, oh gosh, I think it was Libra. And fun one for this one. Let me grab the crystallary deck here so that we can put it on this. I loved this one because, of course, I used my Star Trek Tarot. I love this deck. And I really enjoyed it with the crystallary too. It kind of also made me think of dilithium crystals. So the reading I did for this one ended up being private. And that's because one of the cards that showed up was the 4 of coins or 4 of pentacles, and that is something like, that's my trigger card for when I'm working with deities, for them to let me know that they want this reading to be private. So, so because of that, I did not share that one on social media. I usually post all my moon readings on Tuesdays on my Instagram. So follow me if you're interested. But I still wanted to showcase this deck. So I went ahead and I kind of redrew some cards and took pictures of that because I really wanted to showcase this deck specifically. So I kept my reading private, and yeah. So yeah, really enjoy this. Whoops, I grabbed one of these cards with this. All right, well, that's funny, but I must have grabbed one of those when I was pulling all these cards together. Anyway, so, yeah, and I will overlay the picture of my page on the screen, but I will blur out my interpretations. So there we go. And the final reading, the one that I did just moments before I started this video, and I gotta grab the deck for it. This was the Angus closing, and again, I used the Goblins and Gardens. So I'm not gonna pull this out again, but yes, I use this again for the closing ritual. And so what I do is I pull out the three. So I ended up usually there's 4 cards for the moon readings because there's 4 moon readings that I do a month. But I got the obsidian one twice, which I felt was something I needed to pay attention to. So there was just 3 cards from this deck that I pulled. And when I finally get the stickers printed off, I will have the reading over here. All right, so there we go. That was my Angus closing. And now I am going to just briefly, oh yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'll go over this first real quick. I also used my brand new deck here. I'm not gonna pull it out. We've already seen these cards, and I just posted a video on this, so I'll just pull this out like this. So I did a pick a card or pick a pile reading for my channel. And if you are interested, there is a video, hopefully, in the card pop up there, or I will have it down below in the description. So this is the new deck that I got this month, which is the Zeke's Arcana. Very happy with this deck. I really only did the one reading, the pick a card reading with it so far, but I really enjoyed it. And so if you guys want to, please go check that out. And it actually worked out great with the This Might Help Oracle. So yeah. Okay, so my daily tarot journal here. There's still a bunch of pages I don't have decorated on this yet. And in fact, I don't have next month's decorated. I'm obviously going to be focusing on Rhiannon, the Welsh goddess, but I haven't decorated this page yet. I will probably have to do that tomorrow. Yeah, so interestingly enough, for my daily morning card pulls, I actually didn't pull any cards. I pulled my OM staves. And yeah, I got these from the, gosh, what is the name? Green Witch Woman. I can't remember the name of the Etsy site. But yeah, I'll leave a link to them down below. And all of these OM staves are made from the traditionally corresponding trees. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into that too much, but yeah, so I pulled an OM. I was going to say most mornings, but I really struggled to remember to do my morning pulls this month. As you can see by all the stickers taking up spaces that I didn't pull. So yeah, so I especially tried to do it on days that I had full moon or moon readings and stuff. So, which I did, but especially this last week here, as you can see, I mean, 5 days in a row, I didn't pull any OM staves. So it is what it is. Yeah. So, and it looks like I pulled this one 3 times. So that's something to pay attention to. Yeah, I think that this was by far my most common pull here. So anyway, let me see if it's on that. Oh no, it's on the last page there. So my daily, nightly pulls here. So this first week I used the Goblins and Gardens. I didn't use any new decks in my nighttime readings. I kind of just recycled a lot of the decks that I was using for my various main readings and stuff. So Gardens and Goblins, and look at this, I did every single day this week. I was really proud of myself, and this is not the only week. I did another full week this month, so I'm really happy because last month there were not even there was not any day that I any week that I did a full card, but so this week, definitely the first week. Second week, I used the Art of Adventure Tarot. Again, another recycled thing here. Oh, let me pull it out real quick. I'm not going to pull out the cards, but just reminding you of which deck it is. So, Art of Adventure, and that's how I decorated it. Fun, of course. I decorate each week to correspond to what deck I'm using. And didn't get a full card this one, but I loved using the pizza washi tape for this. And I also use the Opanchu Sagi washi tape just because it's fun and silly. It kind of matched the deck. So, yeah. Another full card here. And this week I used the Wonderworld Tarot. Really happy with this, of course. Yeah, loved it. And then this week was tough. This is the current week. I'm on this last day. I didn't do this day. I didn't do these 3 days in a row. I will do tonight. I will have to, I need to do tonight. But, yeah, so this was with the, Luna's Bear Beginner's Tarot here. So yeah, which was, I liked the decorations I did for it. The bear washi tape. A lot of fun. So that was it for my readings. There we go. So now that we've gone over all the decks that I used in March, here they are here, all the decks that I used. A shorter list than the previous months, and that's a lot of the reason is because I used a lot of the same decks that I did for the main readings in my nightly and daily pulls. So, and the next thing I have to do here is, oh, it's over here. I gotta pick my favorite deck, and this month is an absolute no-brainer for me. There's no competition whatsoever. And my favorite deck this month was, let me write it down. The Goblins and Gardens. And I have that written for March here. Really excited. I absolutely loved this deck this month. Yeah, I'm really happy with pretty much every reading I've done with this deck. I just kept wanting to bring it out. So to me, after the third reading that I did with this deck, it was just like this. It's obviously a no-brainer. This was my favorite deck this month. So yeah, really excited about that. So yeah, that was this month, and I received the Zeke's Arcana. I forgot to write in Nocturna Oracle, so I wrote in Zeke's Arcana here and had to do that here because I got Nocturna Oracle in February along with the Tarot of the Great Outdoors, and these two in January. All right, so that is everything for the magical month of March. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!